or anything else different than myself, that actually would be racism. I would qualify as somebody who's actually gone through higher education as well as engrossed in modern day social media and world and political news. So it's somebody who actually is in touch or tries to be more in touch than the average human with what's going on in the entire world around them and all the political things that are either positive or negative. And then of course you have the fashion piece on top of that, which I don't personally understand, but it doesn't matter.
Explain that. So when you say the fashion piece, what are you referring to?
A lot of the people, when you consider a person a hipster, they usually have a specific fashion trend that goes along with it, where I'm taking something that's either like retro and trying to make it modern day cool, or he likes to call me homo chic, which means that I dress very slovenly, but at the same time have hints of being nice. I think is what you would almost trademark the hipster look as, where they put a lot of effort, or we pigeonhole them into saying they put a lot of effort into looking like they put in no effort.
Okay, so kind of like the unmakeup kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, you don't look like you have makeup, but you. Yeah, what's your take?
So, I mean, my concept is probably a lot more in line with actuality. Not, sorry, the actual reality of it, but what you're talking about. And I would probably be almost lumped in with those kids for the sheer fact that I view a lot of things as far as like racism and stuff like that goes as they are plagues that start from within. And once you let them hold or have that power over you, there's something that you'll rarely ever lose the grasp of, or that they'll lose the grasp on you. And so I think a lot of those people, hopefully, from my perspective, hopefully are trying to say that, hey, this is something that actually exists out in the world, and we're putting it out there for everybody to look at because it shouldn't be a big deal. It should be something that's openly discussed, openly talked about. Because you're from a different culture, because you're, whatever X, it's irrelevant. Like, you're a human. So I have is equal right to make fun of you as I do anyone else. Mm-hmm. And actually, and my personal thought process is, if I would refrain from making fun of you because you're black or Indian or anything else different than myself, that actually would be racism. And I mean, that's my own, I guess, personal belief, because that doesn't make you different. It just means you have a slight variation in skin pigment. Mm-hmm. Who cares? I mean, I personally don't. So that's kind of where I approach that.
Actually do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And that's kind of how I would personally, if I had to pigeonhole a hipster, would define it.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I think it tends to be more educated people, probably a little bit higher income, typically.
Yep.
I think it's people that have been exposed to a lot of different things.
I think they purposely expose themselves.
Sure.
Whether it's because of fad and they feel like to fit in their social group or gatherings that they have to expose themselves, or if it's just by pure desire.
Okay.
So either one. Yeah, for sure, personally. I mean, I've seen that where very shortly after the Boston bombings from the marathon, somebody dressed up as a marathon victim. And it was still so fresh that like they just got bombarded with hate mail. They basically got fired from their position at work. The backlash of it was quite severe for that girl. And I mean, that's just one very concrete episode of it. I think also it's going to be dependent on not only time, but how many people had accepted it and actual geographical proximity to it. So, because while we could potentially make light of that situation because we were removed by 2,500 miles, if you're in Boston, time is relative by distance, I think is a better way to put it.
Okay.
So.
My guess is that person never intended to hurt anyone through that and had an obliviousness or, in worst case scenario, a willful ignorance to that fact, that
Okay.
that actually can re-cause hurt.
Okay.
My guess is that person probably didn't intend on doing that.
No. Yeah.
And didn't, I don't know that forgives the action. I don't know that it necessitates the severe reaction.
Okay.
But I don't think, my guess is